Hey, today I'll be talking about episodes 51 through 52 of RuYi's Royal Love. As Shu's delivery date nears, the Empress Dowager begins to push for the baby to live with her once it's born. Shu has shown herself to be 100% loyal to the Emperor, and she needs a way to force Shu back onto her side, though she frames it as just wanting to take care of the cute little baby. She even brings up the whole astrology thing. Wouldn't it be better if the father and son were kept away from each other, for safety's sake? This was the whole thing the Emperor was trying to avoid by giving Shu contraceptives, and now, here we are. The Emperor calls Mei in to see him, suspecting she told the Empress Dowager about the astrology prediction, mostly because Yanwan and her creepy eunuch put that idea in his head. He's seriously suspicious of every aspect of this thing except the actual prediction. Jia gets the news, and since it doesn't seem to be for nightly services, she immediately becomes suspicious that Mei has grown soft-hearted and wants to confess. These two have done quite a lot together, the biggest thing being causing the death of the previous empress, and Jia has worked too hard only to lose it all in the final stretch. Scared that she'll make a mess of things, Jia tells her servant to put poison in Mei's food. The servant does sloppy work and is spotted by Hailan and RuYi, who make their way to Mei's palace before she starts eating to warn her to be careful. She's dismissive, but does feed some rice to her parrot, and it keels over and dies. Well, guess they were right. I know they didn't, but this would have been such an easy way for Hailan and RuYi to sow discord between Mei and Jia. Plant the poison themselves, then go to her under the guise of trying to help, be proven right, and bam! Now Mei thinks Jia is out to kill her. In any case, now fearful for her life, Mei decides to head directly to the Emperor. It turns out that what the Emperor wants to talk about has nothing to do with the previous Empress or Jia. Mei thought she had been acting so well all these years, but the Emperor tells her that he already knows that she's really one of the Empress Dowager's plants, along with Consort Shu and Imperial Concubine Qing. And it seems he's finally ready to clear house of his mother's influence. We don't see what's said, but we don't have to wait for long. Qing gets really sick after drinking her normal medicine. Worried that someone tampered with it, Hailan wants to send someone to investigate.
不用查了，事儿是我干的。
Am I the only one so excited seeing Mei like this again? I forgot how much I missed the original Mei.
不是平时一向与我交好吗？不想交好了，不愿见你得宠，就是这样。
This is a sad situation, but I can't help but love seeing her in her old form. She's been such a wisp of her old self since her miscarriage. Obviously, considering the timing, this isn't actually something Mei came up with on her own. Mei is crazy, but okay, not that crazy. Qing will never be able to get pregnant again, and the Emperor decides to have Mei killed for what she did. Two of the Empress Dowager's spies gone in one fell swoop. What a coinkydink. RuYi is tasked with giving Mei the poison and making sure she drinks it. She arrives to find Mei all dolled up and playing her pipa. She's clearly in a chatty mood, so RuYi sits down to listen.
这柄凤颈琵琶还是从前皇上赏的。
Oh, gee, so we're starting all the way at the beginning? Sorry, Mei, but I have other...
记得与皇上初相识。
Mei tells RuYi that she, Qing, and Shu were all sent by the Empress Dowager to spy on him.
窥探、禁言、献媚。
She says the Emperor caught on and forced her to do this, getting rid of two of the Empress Dowager's girls in one move.
咱们的皇上厉不厉害啊？
She reveals that after Hui's old maid Mo Xin was unsuccessful with her and Hailan, she tried Mei. Well, she reveals it to RuYi, we already knew that. Mo Xin told her about the Empress's hand in her child's death, and so Mei got her revenge by working with her to kill the seventh prince. RuYi makes it clear that she's being an idiot, and she's been like this the whole time. Someone points her in a direction, tells her that person is to blame, and she goes all out to get revenge even though she knows nothing. She was so quick to attack RuYi when Ruo wrongfully accused her, and then turned around and attacked Ruo when her role was revealed. And now, what proof does she really have that the Empress was behind anything? And she killed a kid for that. She keeps letting herself get used over and over, and what has it gotten her? RuYi is totally right, but it's a bit late to try talking some sense into her now. RuYi does give her a bit of comfort though, and tells her that she will arrange a ceremony so that after she dies, she can meet her son in the afterlife. Mei is totally out of her mind, but the love for her baby has been the only constant. This was sweet of her. With that, Mei is ready to go. She drinks her poison without complaint, and with one last song, she dies. RuYi is going to get some kind of PTSD accompanying all these people to their deaths. You know who's completely unaffected though? Her boss.
去了的就不用在意了。
Don't work yourself ragged for your bosses, folks. They'll replace you in an instant. Consort Shu gives birth to the 10th prince. The emperor should be happy to welcome in another son, but is conflicted as this complicates things with his mother. On top of that, there's all that astronomy nonsense about the two of them being bad for each other. After all the visits are over and the rewards have been given out, Yanwan calls Shu's midwife over and pays her for a job well done. Turns out, she told her to make sure Shu would not give birth to a healthy son by making her sick throughout her pregnancy. Midwife Tian has a sick daughter and is desperate for money and a cure for her. Tian promises that she was successful and she is sure the 10th prince won't make it to adulthood.
真的吗？千真万确。
Looks like she knows her stuff, as at a month old, 10th prince is indeed very sickly. As the emperor himself also starts to suffer from ill health, he is all the more convinced that what the astronomer said was true and that he and his son are not fated to be together. So Yanwan has cooked up a nice little plot, paying the astrologer to make the prediction and then making it all come true herself. She made Shu sick all throughout her pregnancy, she interfered making sure that Dr. Zhang wouldn't be able to treat her, and in the end, even the midwife was under her control. 10th prince never had a chance. And of course, let's not discount creepy eunuch's role in all of this. They might be fighting right now, but they're still partners, and he's been in the palace much longer. I'm sure he's doing a lot of the planning and legwork. Also, it's not shown, but considering the incredibly fortunate timing, I'm pretty confident that Jinzhong must be messing with the emperor's meds or doing something else to make him sick.
皇上可是又头疼了。
Now ready to cash in on all this scheming, Yanwan suggests to the emperor that just to be safe, he have 10th prince raised somewhere else, far away from him. He can always be brought back later when the stars have aligned or whatever. The emperor agrees and gives the news to Shu and the empress dowager. They object, but his mind is made up. He might really think this is what's best for both of them, but also, by doing this, he won't have to deal with the empress dowager insisting on taking care of the baby and dividing Shu's loyalties. He is done with his mother meddling in his life, as evidenced by the way he handled Qing and Mei, and the only reason he didn't try to kill Shu is because she has been totally dedicated to him the whole time she's been here. Forget politics though, all Shu cares about is her son. Plus, not only is 10th prince sent to live with another family, the emperor, feeling awkward, avoids seeing her as well. And it was all for nothing, as the emperor's health doesn't even improve. As things continue to get worse, he begins to be plagued by thoughts of death. Desperate for answers, he clings to the astronomer's words.
是不是和12个与朕彼此相克的天象之说有关？
RuYi's expressions are everything that I'm feeling. You friggin' Muppet. So I guess Mei never told the emperor about Jia's attempted poisoning. Fair enough, she had bigger things on her plate. I know the emperor wants to be his own man and I can respect that, but the way he uses and throws these women away is tough to watch. He used Mei to get rid of Qing and then had her killed for doing so, getting rid of both of them. On the surface, it's a really great plan, but like, wow, these are people. Even if they were working for your mother, you know damn well it wasn't by choice. You couldn't find some excuse to send them off to the summer palace? And the thing is, the Empress Dowager does not care about them. She finds out about Mei being sentenced to death and says, she didn't say anything about me, right? No? Then good riddance. What I mean is, this isn't a deterrent. The Empress Dowager will just keep sending girls, so do you plan to kill all of them? I am grateful though for one last glimpse of our chaotic little Mei. I'll miss her. And now for a look at the book. Shu's plot is pretty much the same, but her sickness while she was pregnant causes her to lose most of her hair, leaving her in a situation similar to Hai Lan's. And then the Emperor's failing health leads to a scene that I really was not expecting to read, RuYi and the Emperor in bed. One night he can't perform and gets very frustrated. He yells at Liu to bring him some ginseng soup, drinks it, smashes the bowl, yells at Liu and gets back on top of poor RuYi, who of course can't say a word. In the end, it doesn't work and he's very clearly affected by what he assumes is the end of his youthful virility. The Emperor's issues are very understandable and normal, it's just how much everyone else has to suffer for his hangups that makes it difficult to sympathize with him. They've been married for decades at this point, and rather than talk to her, he chugs soup and tries to use her to prove to himself that he still got it. There's also a scene in the next chapter where he gets his first white hair, and the way everyone is walking on eggshells hoping he doesn't freak out because they know he could literally just kill them in a fit of anger. In any case, he's 100% afraid of getting old, aren't we all, and will do anything to not feel his youth slipping away. If that means getting rid of one of his many sons, then oh well. Till next time, thanks for watching.